Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subject is principle of auditing, and today lecture is on audit risk assessment. Teaching agenda for today lecture is management assertion about financial statement. What is management assertions? These are basically claim of the management that the financial statement are presented in a fairly manner. Second topic to be discussed in today's lecture is business risk assessment, that is specifically related to the business of the company. Then risk assessment procedures, then importance of internal control, specifically with reference to the financial statement preparations, and management, what is management responsibilities regarding internal controls, and what is auditor responsibility about these internal control system. Management assertion about financial statement. The first assertions about of the management about financial statement, that is existence or occurrence. It means that all assets that are appeared in the face of financial statement are physically existed and the company are using it. The liabilities or any other transactions that are recorded in the book of account and are presented in a financial statement are occurred during the financial period that are currently under audit. So the first assumption is existence or occurrence. Auditor basically check these assumptions that either it is true or not. He will physically verify these fixed asset. He will vouch and verify the occurrence of liability or any other transaction. So preliminary, the audit risk assessment is about the risk may be exist at each exertion level, or it may be at the overall financial statement level. So we will discuss one by one the assertion of the management regarding financial statement. Second assertion is completeness of the record. What is completeness? The management assert or claim that transaction, event, and account that are presented in the balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statements all are completely included. Means the period that are under audit and are comprises the financial statement for the period are comprises of all those transactions that occur during that period of time. No transaction have been omitted or missed in preparing the financial statement. This is second assertion, and auditor will try at best to assess the risk at that level of assertion and check the completeness of the transaction. The third is cutoff. That is, since the audit is, let's suppose, audit in Pakistan, non-financial firms are audited, and their annual audit is from 1st July and the 30th June of the next year. So this is basically a period which are going to examine by the auditor. So cutoff procedure means that all transaction event occurred or the account balances are recorded in that specific period from 1st July, let's suppose X of year X1 to the 30th June of year X2. It means that no transaction behind this period in the July of the X2 or no transaction of the June of the X0 are recorded or a portion are allocated in this accounting period. So all transaction, event and account have been recorded in the correct period of time. Further is the this assertions. So auditor will also apply cutoff procedure in that to verify that claim of the management as well. Right and obligations. This is fourth is the assertion represent that the right of the entity and liabilities the obligation of the entity at a given date. Means what the company have a right on its assets, and the company have obligations to pay its liability. So that is a management claim that at a given date, this is basically the right and obligation of the companies that are presented in the balance sheets. So the auditor will assist us at risk at that assertion that either it is true right and obligations are reported or not. Valuation and allocation. Fifth assertion of the management or claim that asset liability component have been included in financial statement that all and it is properly valued and appropriate amount have been recorded in the financial statement. This valuation is a bit controversial area that either auditor it is auditor responsibility to work as a valuer or not, or he may hired any other person, external person for the expert opinion. Accuracy, that is sixth assertion, transaction have been properly recorded in proper accounts. Revenue account are recorded in revenue, assets are recorded in asset, expenditure are recorded in expenditure. So the auditor can also assess risk at that accuracy level as well. Presentation and disclosure, that is seventh assertion that according to law and regulations or standards, all relevant disclosure have been made. Particular component of financial statement are properly classified, described and disclosed and is required by the law. The auditor will also assess the risk that the law are properly the client have properly complied with the law and relevant regulation are not. Business risk assessment. Business risk is basically business risk approach allows the auditor when he is assessed the risk about the business, they identify the threat faced by the organization. What is the second benefit? It recognizes that most business risk will eventually have an effect on financial statement. For example, if the company is facing severe competition, its product is obsolete and have no growth chances, that there is a chances that the company will overstate its financial statement in order to retain its job from shareholder. So the auditor after assessing the business risk will recognize that most business risk will have impact on the misstatement and financial statement. Third, it increases the chances of identifying risk of material misstatement in financial report. As we discussed, that if there is high business risk of the client, there is a chances that he will misstated his financial statement. Category of business risk. These are category of business risk. Financial risk means high leverages, high debt have been obtained in past, and the company is now unable to pay its interest and principal amount, or the company have a lot of business with the within an international market, and currency fluctuation rate. The company face a currency fluctuation rate, variation and devaluation of currency risk is also faced by the company. That is operational risk. Out of old machinery are using in the operation of the company, outdated machinery are using in the company, manual system are still installed in the company. There is other operational risk as well, that the company production facilities are far behind from their competitor and that have high cost, which also cut its profit margin. Other is compliance risk. Compliance risk means the company do not comply with law, with the internal control IC, do not comply with the covenants placed by the bank, or do not comply with the board's suggestion. So this is also a type of business. These business risks finally compel the management to hide their weaknesses and overstate their financial statement. So it is very much necessary for the auditor to have knowledge of the business risk of the client. Risk assessment procedures. Inquiry. The auditor can inquire directly from the management about the potential risk. He may interview the staff and ask cross questions. He may ask the internal auditor that what are the potential risks that the company may face in the futures. He may ask from the company bankers that how much loan have been obtained, and is the company is particular in paying back or negotiate the loan terms with the company. So legal advisor should also be inquired about the risk assessment. That is one of the method or procedure to assess the risk of the company. Second is analytical procedures. Analytical procedure means provide a broad indication of the likelihood of the possible error. Analytical procedure, as we discussed, that key ratios are calculated and compare with the industry and competitors. These key ratios are also compare with the past record. Performance is judged with the budget or standard costing. So these are analytical procedure. That is one way of assessing the business risk of the client. Observation and inspection. The auditor may observe directly the procedure taking place, may inspect manuals, any written manual, visiting the business premises. These are some example that the auditor observes and inspect or check the company in order to have to assess the business risk of the client. Importance of internal control. The Committee of Sponsoring Organization of the Tradeway Commission define internal control as it is affected by the entity's board of director. Means these internal control should be from the board of director, and the management are responsible to design these internal control, and other personnel as well, designed to provide reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance about what? Regarding achievement of the objective. what objective the company want to achieve from this internal control are: first objective is effectiveness and efficiency of operation, reliability of financial reporting. If these internal controls are in place and consistently applied, then the external auditor may rely on the financial reporting. Compliance with the applicable laws and regulation. This is third objective that the auditor want to achieve from internal control. Management responsibility. What is the management responsibility? Management must be responsible to establish and maintain, as discussed earlier, the entity's internal control structure, which aid management by ensuring that first, prevented, detected, and corrected any irregularities in the company. Safeguard. What the internal control will safeguard? Asset of the company from misappropriation and misuse. Accurately reflected. The financial record accurately reflected the affairs of the operation of the companies. Management policies are being complied with or not. That is also one of the objective of the internal control. Operational efficiency is promoted. That operational efficiency is promoted that prevents any inefficiency and fraud. And unnecessary duplication of efforts are also identified by these internal control. There are some inherent limitation. Inherent limitation means which cannot be avoided in the internal control. Human efforts also have internal limitation. Either it is in regard to internal control structure or any other efforts, but it will have inherent limitation and cannot be regarded as completely effective. So the auditor should not consider these internal control is completely effective structure, regardless of the care taken in its design and implementation. No matter how much competent people have designed and implemented these internal control, it will again have certain inherent limitations, and the auditor should comply further substantive procedure in order to able to give appropriate opinion on financial statement. What is auditor responsibility? That is again in response to inherent limitation, the auditor should obtain understanding of the internal control relevant to the audit he is conducting presently. So what will be the objective of understanding? The objective or the benefit of an audit understanding of internal control is to then use to plan the audit and determine the nature, timing, and extent of substantive procedures. Substantive procedures are basically those steps, those processes, those methods that are used to verify and watch the existence, occurrence, disclosures, ownerships, right and obligation, all assertion to be checked and produced in audit evidence. So the auditor understanding will guide him to plan the audit and extent, timing, and nature of the substantive procedures. Thank you.